Welcome to the Love Gods, where two romance audiobook narrators answer listener-submitted questions about love, sex, and romance. I'm Tim Paige.
And I am Liam DiCosimo.
You're Liam DiCosimo? Like you're laying down, or you're getting laid right now?
I mean, can it be both?
It could be both, if you wanted it to be.
A
quick disclaimer, this show is for entertainment purposes only. If you need real help, please seek out a qualified French professional, or any professional for that matter.
Yeah, that wouldn't be us. We are not qualified professionals, and also the kids should not be looking at us as though we're qualified professionals, so leave them out of it, you know what I
mean? That's probably wise. Like, we have our own kids, and we can fuck up our own kids, but we're not here to fuck up yours. You know?
Yes. And I consistently do fuck up my own kids, so it's really awesome.
I mean, I don't know about that.
It's nice knowing that
you're a great dad.
Nice. Look, no slight against me. Like, I know I'm fucking fantastic, but like those kids are going to be as fucked up as I am. So, but I seem to be decently well liked, so I'll take it. It. That's fine.
Wouldn't have it any other way. Well, we missed a week. Life was crazy. There were people in the hospital, and life was just too much. So we could not do last week, and we knew that you would understand. And if you don't, that's too fucking bad, because our families come first. So we had to do that.
And on the plus side, you can watch this and then go listen to this, and it'll feel like you didn't miss a week.
Yeah. It's like a bonus episode. Boners episodes, if you will. Yeah. And so we're trying to figure out how to make this whole thing work. So you'll have to bear with us if things change, if the videos look different from week to week. We have tried, 9 different platforms now to record our videos, and we're trying so many different things. We're going to find the right thing for us, but in the meantime, you'll have to deal with some inconsistency. Oh, fucking boohoo. But we'll get there. We'll figure it out. And if you're listening to the audio podcast, well, then you're like, fucker, still sounds the same to me.
Yeah, this sounds great. This sounds melodious. We would agree. We would absolutely agree.
Yeah, but we'll figure it out. And I do think that we are likely a handful of weeks away from going live. I think maybe let's do like a live party for our first one. Yeah. We'll make sure you all know about it, that everybody can be there, that kind of thing. I think that would be good.
I like that. And I love a party, so I'm not usually invited.
Yeah. I love a certain kind of party, but there's a lot of parties that I don't really enjoy.
Like a sex toy party where they like bring different dildos and butt plugs and Tupperware.
No, I feel like that'd be fun. I'd be like, that's the thing.
Tim's just looking at the Tupperware. Can I put my dildo in the Tupperware?
Sir, that's not for sale. We're selling the dildo, not the Tupperware. Oh,
right. No, I get that. But is the Tupperware for sale? Can I put my dildo in the Tupperware?
Listen, I'm really vanilla. So like, I would like some Tupperware so that I can bake some things so that, I could give to my fellow vanillians. Vanillians.
Yes. I'm so vanilla. So my hair is blonde. That's how vanilla I went.
I know it's blonde right now. Sometimes it's different colors. I feel like you're a Skittle.
I mean, to the naked eye, sure. But I've got nuts inside me, so I'm more of an M&M.
I could see that. Yeah. And your nuts are huge. You'd be like Boulder M&Ms,
That's true. No, it's the full peanut M&M, but it would be like a fistful of peanuts. It's great.
True. Yeah, that's very true. Well, hey, do us a favor. If you're watching on YouTube, go right down there, click subscribe with your genitals or your fingers or wherever you feel like it. Like the video, comment if you want to. What we would love to know is your opinion. So this is one of the things that we are excited about on YouTube is that, sure, on social media, you can send us messages or comment on the posts or whatever. But on YouTube, you can go below the video and you can give your opinions, which I'm sure are just as valid as our opinions. So you can be like, oh, that person was the asshole. And you could let us know. A bunch of you did that for the episode from 2 weeks ago. So that was super cool. Thank you for doing that. We love that you're doing that. It's so much fun. So,
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Crowd interaction.
Yeah, let's dive right into the first one. So this one comes in from Mama Bear. Now it's kind of long, so bear with me. Mama Bear writes in and says, a little background. I'm a mom to 3 children, 2 of them queer, and I've been divorced 2 years. My oldest daughter is bisexual, and this matters to the context of the story. I have a very close relationship with her. She and her father don't have a good relationship, and that would take paragraphs to explain, but in the simplest of forms, he's a narcissist, and when she became a teenager with her own thoughts that challenged his, he didn't take the opportunity to understand her, and hasn't since. They can get along at family gatherings, but there's a lot of tension if too much time is spent because he makes verbal jabs, and she speaks her mind right back. Well, we got together Christmas morning, and he had bought a t-shirt for each of the kids, but when it came time to open gifts, he told our oldest that she couldn't open hers in front of everyone because it wasn't appropriate. That was awkward enough, but when he pulled her off to the side, I could tell it was bad. I heard her say, I will never wear this, and he just laughed and responded, I don't care if you throw it in the trash. After he left, she showed me the shirt. It was a picture of a cat with the words, lesbians eat what? Cue record scratch. Now here's the thing. Is that funny? Maybe if you're giving that to a close friend. But as a father, giving that to his 20-year-old daughter for Christmas, which she has a bad relationship with, she didn't find it funny at all, and neither did I. I keep thinking if she were straight, would he have given her a shirt with the words, I like riding dick? No, he wouldn't. Obviously, this only further put a divide in their relationship. He doesn't get why she can't take a joke, and she is kind of done at this point. I'm with her. Anyway, my question is, as 2 straight dads, what's your take on a joke gift like this? Also, as a co-parent, even though she's an adult and can speak for herself, would you say something to him about the gift? Thanks, love gods. I don't remember whose turn it is.
I don't know. Let me dive in first.
Yeah, go.
Put my foot in my ass, or I'll put my foot in his ass, because holy shit, dude, like, this is where it's tough, because I understand a father trying to connect to their child as their child is on the cusp of becoming an adult.
Yeah.
I always think back to when I first went off to university, my father had a computer built for me, like a CPU, and it was nice. Like, it had the, up-to-date modern tchotchkes and Windows XP, because that was the most recent thing back in 2001.
Yeah.
But he also had bought me a poster that was like one of those Spencer Gift style posters where it's like a busty girl in a schoolgirl uniform that says like study hard or something. And I'm like, I'm never going to put this up. Like, this is going to get immediately thrown in the trash, but somebody else's trash because I'm too embarrassed to even have it in my own trash can. So
Sure.
So I understand like that awkwardness, that disconnect, but this is even like worse than that. Like, especially for if his response is, I don't care if you throw it in the trash, just tells her that he didn't care enough to put enough thought into a gift that was meaningful or relevant. And it's just him checking a box, him being like, oh, I got you something. It's your fault you don't like it. It's not my fault I gave you a shitty gift. That's just so bizarre to me. So, yeah, I completely agree with Mama Bear. I think that's fucked up, and I don't agree with him giving that as a gift. I think it's a pretty big cop-out. If I'm the daughter, I don't try to talk to him about it, because it seems he is non-receptive to anything that anybody else is giving him. So he thinks he's in the right and everybody else is wrong. I think the best thing to do is just cut him out. And then he can sit there being why won't anybody talk to me? It's like, because you're a dick. And until you change and make amends, these are the repercussions. And you just have to either learn and change and grow. Like, you're never too old to not be a dick. Everybody can make those changes. So I guess we'll see. But yeah, I would say not worth the effort, not worth the words you would waste trying to convince him to not be the shitty version of himself he already is. What about you, man? What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you on this. So I think that is, first off, that shirt's kind of lazy, right? It's not really funny. Lesbians
So
eat
dumb.
this and it's a cat. Like, we get it, eat pussy, like whatever. It's just not that funny. Like, I am down for a raunchy shirt. you know, especially if it's somebody that you have a good relationship with, you know? So like if I got one of my queer friends a shirt and it was related to something, you know, about their sexuality and it was funny, I think that's one thing, right? Like, especially if it's something that we've made, you know, we've laughed about before, you know, if it's the kind of conversations that we have, sure, why not? But when this is your daughter who you don't have a good relationship with, and I'm going to read between the lines here and say it sounds like he's probably not cool with her sexuality. I'm just guessing. I could be fully full of shit there, but reading between the lines, it sounds like that's a point of contention. You know, their queer kids are a point of contention. And especially like, oh, she talked back to him. Guess what? That's what kids do, especially teenagers. And then, you know, like kids in general, my kids talk back all the time. Are you kidding me? So yeah, kids are going to talk back. And is it awesome? Sometimes it kind of sucks and sometimes it's hilarious. But I think if you don't have that kind of relationship, joking about something as personal as what you do in the bedroom with your kid, no, I'm not in favor of that. Now, I will say that if my kids and I continue to have a great relationship, I think my kids love the shit out of me and I obviously love the shit out of them, and they get older, I have no problems making jokes about that kind of stuff with them. I've made plenty of jokes with my oldest son because lately we've been talking about puberty. He is that age. He is for sure going through it. And we've had talks about some stuff that's like, you know, mildly uncomfortable, mildly awkward. They're getting to that age. But we've had to have those talks. And for me, I tend to diffuse awkward situations, sad situations, whatever, with humor. That's how I handle those things. I crack a lot of jokes. And so I made a lot of jokes with it. And I think it helped him feel more comfortable. But again, he and I have a very close relationship. He's one of my best friends in the entire world. I love him to death. And we joke around about a lot of stuff. If we had a bad relationship, you better believe I'm not making those jokes. And so I think I don't want to write this dad off. It sounds like he's a narcissist. It sounds like he's kind of a shitbird. But I don't want to be like, fuck this guy, like cut him out of your life, divorce him, like she should never see him again. I want to try my best to look at this and go, maybe this dad was trying, like you said, to try to reach out, to bridge the gap a little bit. Maybe he was trying a little bit and he felt scorned when she was just like, I'm never going to wear this. And like his knee-jerk reaction was, well, I don't care if you wear it. You know, like maybe he had his feelings hurt or whatever, which by the way is not the daughter's responsibility. I'm in no way saying that like she should have been thoughtful. No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is like maybe that was his gut reaction and that he actually did care and he was trying. And in that case, I would say, you know, first off, you as his wife, Mama Bear, probably want to talk to him, might want to bring it up and explain some of the shit that we're talking to you about. Maybe just mention like, hey, if that was you trying to connect, I appreciate where your heart was at. But that wasn't the right way to do it. I think if you want to connect, you should try to connect with your daughter. You should try to find things that you relate on and connect about them, you know, and make it a slow process because you've had 20 years of time where your relationship hasn't been good. It doesn't just repair itself overnight. Spend some time getting to know who she is besides somebody who eats pussy and, you know, connect in whatever ways that you can. And be accepting of the fact that it's going to take time. Yes, I do think that you should have that conversation, Mama Bear. And also, your daughter's 20 years old. I think for sure she's an adult and she should have those conversations. But I also can understand 20 is one of those times where everything is changing all the time. Like life is so fucking unstable. And she might just be at a point where she's like, I don't want to deal with this right now. I honestly cut him out of my life. Like she might be at that point and I think it's reasonable and to let her do that and let her come back in due time, as long as she's not cutting it off with you, Mama Bear, who you have a great relationship with her. I think, yeah, that is the way to go. I think let her do her thing, maybe gently encourage her like, hey, I'm not saying that it was good. I agree this shirt was fucking stupid. I think him saying to just throw it away was fucking stupid. And let's find out if maybe this was him trying to, you know, make inroads with you and help him. And if she's like, no, fuck that, then okay, cool. No, fuck that. And you as Mama Bear need to help him understand that. Don't need to, but I think it would be good if you want to salvage your relationship and their relationship to help him understand that. You got any pushback on that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I still gotta cling to the idea of like his effort was minimal at best, and I
For
think
sure.
that it's not just that the shirt was distasteful; it was just so lacking any sense of love. And I feel like that
Yeah.
would be more hurtful than like that it was a bad lesbian joke on the shirt. You know, like I'll use this as an example. My father-in-law, right, for his birthday, or Christmas, he's notoriously hard to shop for. We know what bands he likes. We know what kind of music he likes. So typically we'll try to find him some sort of t-shirt. He usually just wears dark colors. So like black, right? So we got him like a black AC/DC shirt. And then just because we were like, well, we know he likes AC/DC, but it's not like one of his favorite bands, like Deep
Yeah.
Purple or Black Sabbath. Those are the bands that he likes a little bit more. So we also got him this shirt that was like the villains of Star Wars. They had like Vader and the Emperor and Darth Maul and I think Grievous. Or maybe it was Kylo Ren. And with that one, we were kind of like, that's just the extra shirt. He loved that one more than
Nice.
the AC/DC shirt. So, sometimes even someone that can be difficult to shop for, you can kind of hedge your bets. Try a couple different things that they like. And if he doesn't know, ask the mom or ask one of their siblings and be like, hey, do you think this is something that they'd like? Like, get some additional input. Don't just be like, haha, lesbian shirt, that's fine.
Right.
It's just like, to me, I understand the idea of it's awkward. Maybe he doesn't know how to connect with this individual, with his own daughter, but there are more steps he could have taken. And what it sounds like is he neglected to take even one of those steps and just defaulted to like, here's some misogynistic bullshit, like, ha ha ha. And that's inexcusable for me. That's not I'll give him any sort of pass on it. Not that I'm saying you are, but just, I get like that. Well, don't cut him out completely, but
Yeah.
I think he has a lot of work that needs to be done.
Well, I think so too. And I mean, part of it is the fact that he got her a lesbian shirt when she's bisexual.
Yeah.
And I understand that too. A lot of people, especially people that don't pay attention, it's all one thing, right? But that's just another example of him not really paying attention, him not really listening or understanding who she is as a human being or what things, apply to her life. So I agree. I'm not even trying to give him a pass. I'm just saying, like, I think for people like him, that road to like
assholes.
Assholes for sure. Narcissists, that road to building any kind of a relationship, if that is even what you want to do. I mean, I don't know, from what you're saying, Mama Bear, it sounds like you want to kind of salvage this and as a co-parent, like, figure out what to do. So I think part of that is figuring out how you can help make inroads. And if that's not the case, I think you may have to take on that role of Mama Bear and being like, hey, fuck you. You can't do that shit. You can't do that. Like, this is not between us. This is between you and her. But I am telling you that's not okay. So I think that might be, that might fall on you. And as much as that sucks, it sounds like you're probably ready and willing to to stand up for her. And I think that's the way to go.
Yeah. She's more prepared.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I hope that helps, Mama Bear, and good luck. Not an easy situation, we know, but we're hoping for the best, and also hoping for the best for your daughter as well. So thanks for writing in. All right, this one comes in from Anonymous, very frequent writer of questions for our show. Anonymous says, hey guys, I'm feeling a little ridiculous, but also panicking. So I know your advice might suck, but at least it'll make me laugh. My husband and I are getting close to the point of being ready to have kids. We've both always thought we wanted them, but I'm starting to second guess it. Why, might you ask? Because of a cat. Okay, hear me out. My husband insisted on getting a damn cat. Did you say... Okay, yeah, sorry. I misread that. I thought earlier you said fiance. Okay, my husband insisted on getting a damn cat. He had one when he was growing up and has missed having one. So I gave in and we got one. First off, cats suck. I never knew because I'm a dog person, but oh my God, this cat is mean. It attacks me randomly. It tears stuff up. The litter box stinks. Why is this relevant? Well, it's making me think that I might not have the patience to be a good mom. I know, it's not a human child, but if I'm losing my shit this much over a cat, who's to say I won't do the same over a human child? Help me. Woo, okay. First off, yes, you do need patience with children. I think that patience is maybe the number one skill you can have as a parent with children, but let me say, I'm not a super patient person. It is quite easy to wear down my patience, at least in my older years. When I was younger, I was like, didn't give a shit. But like my patience, I've had to hone that skill since I've had kids. So it is for sure something that you can work on. But the other thing I'll say is cats fucking suck. Cats are absolute garbage animals. And I, for one, can relate to your feelings of being like, fuck this cat. I don't want this cat. And I understand why that would scare you. Kids are not the same. Kids are infinitely more work, at times more frustrating, but also infinitely more rewarding to have, if that's something you want to do. And it sounds like it's something that you both wanted to do, and it's just this one thing freaking you out. First off, it is scary. It's absolutely scary having kids. Don't let anybody tell you it's not scary. It is scary. You know, especially like everybody talks about that moment when you when the doors close in the car and your baby's in the car seat for the first time, and you're like, oh shit, there's nobody around to like stop me from fucking this child up, right? It's fucking scary. But cats are trash, and there's nothing redeemable about them. As I alienate our entire audience.
Right.
Liam and I both fucking hate cats. We both have had cats, and not by our choosing.
No.
And we were cats foisted upon us.
And it was always people telling us like, oh, you just might have gotten a bad cat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think at this point I've had something like 14 or 15 cats in my life that like various roommates have had throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, dude, the evidence is in. Like,
yeah.
even the most tolerable cat was still worse than any dog I've ever had.
Yeah. Yeah, I can absolutely agree with that. So I think use that knowledge, our clearly right opinion, use that and know that it's probably like the cat is just one. It's probably something that's easy to point a finger at when you're feeling nervous about this huge undertaking that's going to change your life forever. And two, kids are way better than cats. Way fucking better. And way worse in some ways, but way better. It's awesome being a parent if it's something that you want. I don't tell everybody to have kids. I think if you want to have kids, fuck yeah, you should have kids, especially so you can teach them how to deal with the bullshit that's going on in the world. But for sure, it's a different thing. I don't think you have anything to worry about. You being impatient is something you can absolutely work on. You, like, having these things that piss you off, you went into this being like, I don't know anything about a cat, and I didn't really want to have one, and he pressured me to get this cat. Now we have a cat, and this cat fucking sucks. It was like a negative experience through and through. Whereas like going into having a kid, one, you it sounds like you want to have a kid, so you're gonna have that like excitement of wanting to be a parent, wanting to have that kid, and the connection that you will feel with your child. You know, Liam and I are not uterus havers. We don't know that like experience of having the child inside us, but I can speak for myself. I had a connection with that baby as soon as I knew that he was in there. Both of them. Like, I had that connection for fucking sure. So, you know, having that, the patience and all that stuff absolutely will come. First off, it'll come a lot easier. Second off, you will hopefully love that child with every piece of you. And it makes it just that much easier to, you know, deal with the hard stuff when it comes. I think it's way different than a cat, which you want to kick at every chance. This coming from a vegan. So I'm just saying. So Liam, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I would echo a lot of those same thoughts. With whether you're a dog person or a cat person or a bird person or like amphibians, like whatever.
Turd person?
Yeah. That's not a tortoise. It's a fucking turtle. I did a report on it.
No, I said turd.
No, I know, but it was a thing Brittany had sent me. It was super funny.
Nice.
It's a little kid, and they're arguing whether or not it's a tortoise or a turtle.
I
And
think
the
I've
one
seen
kid's
that.
like,
Yeah, I've seen
it's a
that.
turtle. It's a tortoise. It's a fucking turtle. He's so mad. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, you sent that to me.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. So you do know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you pick your poison, right? Whatever that is. But yes, any animal is always going to be very different than having your own kid because it's yours. And I would even go so far as even if you were like adopting a child,
100%.
it's a very different, a more visceral experience because no matter how old the dog is or how smart the dog is or how well trained the cat is, it can't fully communicate with you the way that a child can. And I understand, yes, like the children can have learning disabilities or speech impediments or whatever the case may be, but there is still a level of communication that you can have that is incomparable to the communication that you have with a pet. And then it's not to say that people that don't have kids that just love their pets are leading like unfulfilled lives. No, not at all. Like your
No.
life is still fulfilled because you made these choices and this is how you wanted to live your life. I would agree with Tim though. Having a bad cat shouldn't dissuade you from wanting to have a child. It is probably more of like the nerves are built up and you're scared of the unknown, and that's completely fine. That's how my wife and I were going into our first child. And then after the first one, we were like, we'll probably just stop at one. And it was really because our son was asking for a sibling that we started considering like, all right, let's have a second one. And we're super happy that we did. We love both of our children, but I think you have to be in the right mindset. So I would say that this is a type of conversation you should definitely have with your spouse. Let them know some of the fears that you're having, some of the frustrations you're having with the cat, and then just, kind of work your way through it because you do want to go into this experience on the same page. And as we always say, that can only happen with communication.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I think you can also take it with some humor. Like you don't want to have a kid because you're busy dealing with another pussy. Like I think it's fine. And just remember that lesbians want to eat your cat. So
Yes, 100%.
apparently.
And you should let them. You should let them eat your shitty cat.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. And I think I for sure have that conversation with your husband. That's a great point that I didn't think about. Have that talk and, bring up your concerns and let him help you feel better about it. Just maybe be careful because if he loves this cat, you don't want it to be like, because we have this cat, I no longer want to have children. Get rid of the cat. Although maybe you do.
Yeah, maybe.
Am I
it's a
onto
great
something?
out. It's a great out. Look, we can have a child as soon as you get rid of that shit cat. And you don't even have to say cat. You just stop at shit. Get rid of that shit, and he'll be like, "Oh, she's talking about the cat." Everybody knows.
Yeah. Well, we all know because cats are all garbage. And if you think that cats are great, tell us why in the comments below on YouTube, youtube.com/@thelovegods. So just a little, tell us why. We'll argue with you. Well, I will. Liam won't because he doesn't know how to use the internet, but I will argue with you.
Not at all. I do know that when we go for walks around our neighborhood, we see like dozens of cats. I think the last time we went for a walk, we counted like 15 different cats or 17 different cats.
Jesus.
It was freaking nuts. The only good thing I will say is that we had rats in our neighbors' palm trees, and the feral neighborhood cats cleaned them out. So now there's
cool.
none. So that was kind of dope. But
yeah,
now
they're good for utility. As a vegan, I don't believe in using animals as like tools or objects of use. But in this one case, yeah, I think we can use cats that way.
Super efficient, and it's more humane, right? Instead of glue traps or poison, this is natural selection. That's
right.
Fine.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so the next one comes in from Anxious Anonymous. We got So wait, Anonymous. So is Anonymous the last name of everybody?
Yes.
If this is Anxious Anonymous?
Yeah, because like I would be, Liam Anonymous. You would be Tim Anonymous. Brittany would be Anxious Anonymous.
That's true. That's very true.
So
I mean, or it could be, what is it, China? That it's backwards, right? For us, it's backwards.
Maybe,
so like Weili Zhang, Zhang Weili. I don't know.
Hey, there you go. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah. All right, so Anxious Anonymous says, gonna try and keep this short and sweet. My boyfriend has major anxiety, and it pretty much comes on for no reason or any reason. It can be founded or unfounded. It's a constant thing that he has no idea how to control. How do I help him? Thanks. Well, Liam, I'm sure you have no experience with a partner with anxiety that comes on for no reason at all. But let's see if you can come up with some ideas.
Yeah, I think it's difficult. I don't know if it's just, I think it's me being a psychopath. Like, I don't get that kind of anxiety because no emotions, right? No, I think it's difficult because I think about with my wife, with Brittany, early on when we first started dating, I was still living in New York. So when we would want to see each other, it would have to be cross-continental flights, which the very first time I flew out here and then we flew back to New York together, but then she had to fly back to California by herself. Mm-hmm. And she was super anxious and she struggled on those flights by herself. I want to say it was like a couple months after that, she was going to fly back out to New York and had like a panic attack the night before and could not make her flight. And, you know, at the time I was frustrated and I kind of had to reset. And I think like you helped me talk through this. And it was like kind of reset where it's like, just because it's not something that I personally deal with doesn't mean that this isn't something that somebody else has to struggle to get through. Mm-hmm. And, you know, Brittany and I talked through because communication and we realized that like, it's tough, but I'm going to have to be the one that flies out until one of us decides to move. And that was just the way the relationship was going to have to progress. If it was worth it for me, or for both of us to continue that relationship, this was a facet of the relationship. The best things that I could do to try to calm her down is just to be there for her, like be calming, find different things, whether it's music, whether it's like conversation, putting on a movie. You know, nowadays when she starts to have a little bit of that built up anxiety and whatnot, we find that talking through it 100% is the best thing to do. And sometimes she'll still feel anxious about things after the fact, but it's usually lessened. It's a lot less of the sense of an overwhelming weight on her. And you know, with the shit that's going around in the country right now, we have to talk about a lot of these things. You know, the stuff that we see on social media or popping up from various news sources. I think for her, sometimes it's frustrating because I'm very much the burn it all down and start over. So she is you know, she's like, well, we can't do that. So let's talk through better options. And it's good because I think it helps both of us find a better equilibrium. So I've always said it's incredibly important for you to find a partner that is not an echo chamber where, yeah, you can be in agreement on a lot of things, but you do want to challenge each other to step outside of your box to some degree. And I think when one partner, if they are struggling with panic attacks or anxiety or, you know, any type of weight, like you could be claustrophobic, right? Any type of weight, you know, ask them what they need and then do your best to provide them with that. That's the way that I would look at it. How about for you, man? I know for you, your anxiety is probably not quite as bad as Brittany's, but I know sometimes your anxiety hits you like a fucking freight train.
Yeah, I do have, my anxiety is, you know, it's not something I've ever had like diagnosed or anything like that. I've seen a therapist for years and years and years, and partially for the anxiety. And for me, it's very similar, it sounds like, to your partner for Anonymous. It's really similar to your partners in that most of the time, I would say like 95% of the time, it's brought on by like nothing that I can discern. And even talking about things doesn't really necessarily help me, because I find that when I talk about things, I end up getting sometimes more anxious because I'm like, none of this is like weighing on me. You know, it's not, there's not this stuff that's like sitting in the background for me. Sometimes there is, but in general, it's just like, I'm just feeling away. And for me, the anxiety can come on in a lot of different ways. Like, a lot of the times I get really lightheaded Not like I'm going to pass out lightheaded, but I will be walking around all day lightheaded. And it's disconcerting because I feel like I'm going to pass out. And I have like that, not quite tunnel vision, but like it's a little gray on the edges. It's really hard to explain, but that's how my anxiety presents. And often I have IBS as well. That's fun. So that will start to act up and stuff. But so I can relate, I think, in a lot of ways to your partner, your boyfriend. I think the problem with dealing with any kind of mental struggles, whether it be, a mental disorder or just, feeling anxiety or feeling sad or whatever it is, any kind of struggles that you're having, is it's so different for everybody. One, how it presents. Two, what brings it on. Three, how to handle it. And I think the only way to really, figure out what works is to figure out what works, which sounds so fucking stupid, but it's true. Like for me, I've had to work so hard to find the things that will work for me. And I could give somebody else with anxiety a list of the things that I do when I'm feeling a lot of anxiety, and none of them could work, or all of them could work. It's so different for every person. Sometimes it's really helpful when somebody will just look at me and go, you struggling right now? What's going on? And that act will be enough for me to be like, holy shit, yeah, I'm like really feeling a lot of something. Thank you for noticing. Like I feel kind of caught, right? Like I feel seen, not in a way that like, I know I've got people around me that love me, that are there for me and absolutely see me. But like sometimes when you're feeling it and you almost don't even, you're not like consciously like, wow, I'm feeling anxiety. You're just going through the day and something's off and somebody's like, hey, you okay? You seem a little off. It can like help you go, oh shit. Wow. Okay. So I'm not, going nuts. I'm just sitting here. I am struggling with something and it's manifesting, outwardly, and people are seeing that. So for me, that can be helpful. So maybe sometimes when he's feeling that way, just for you to be like, hey, I know you're feeling that way and I'm really sorry. I'm here for you. Is there anything I can do to help? Or is there nothing I can do to help? Because sometimes I also find that when I'm feeling that way, if somebody is like, hey, let me do this thing, or like, I'm huge on touch. I love hugs. And if somebody like wants to hug me when I'm feeling anxious, a lot of times that's good. But sometimes when I'm feeling like this pressure to like feel better and somebody's like there for me and they're like hugging me, sometimes it's like smothering. It's very strange. My brain makes no sense. So again, it's so different how everybody handles this kind of thing. And I know, Sarah feels a lot of anxiety a lot of the time as well. And what works some days doesn't work other days. And I think the biggest thing that you can do is, one, be understanding that it happens and that sometimes there's nothing. Two, not be pushy on like trying to be like, what did I do? Or what's wrong? Like, how can I fix this? Because sometimes it's not a thing that can be fixed. And three, just be patient. When my anxiety is like at normal anxiety levels, I can function, I can do normal things, I'm good. Sometimes though, I literally will have to like go up in my room, turn the lights off, close the door, lay in the dark and do nothing for like 5 minutes to a half hour and just pretend the world doesn't exist. And I will be better by the time I'm done, because for me with anxiety, a lot of stimulation makes it way worse. Normally, a lot of stimulation is fine. I'm generally fine. I have 2 ridiculously loud kids. I wonder where they got that from. My house is generally loud as hell. I do a job where I'm freaking making mouth sounds in a booth all day. There's always noise going on in my life. I can handle it normally. But when I have really bad anxiety, it's way too fucking much. It's like the volume just got turned way up and like you desperately need it to be turned down. So, sometimes he might just need the patience to just be like, hey, go do your thing. Be quiet. Be in a quiet room. Do nothing. Sometimes it's distraction, right? Have him, if he likes video games or playing music or watching sports or fucking jerking off or whatever it is, like, have him do that thing, encourage him to do that thing, be like, hey, that thing, sometimes that helps, go try and do that. But I guess the biggest thing I would say is don't make him feel like a piece of shit. Don't like put him down. Don't make him feel shitty. Don't be like, oh God, the anxiety again. Because I feel like that is for a lot of people just the number one thing that can make it way, way worse is if they feel like they're being a burden or they're somehow taking away from other people and making other people feel shitty. So yeah, I would say that's the big thing. And sometimes being aware, like for you, just being aware, like I know sometimes I'll text Brittany and just be like, hey, I just got the sense that I should check in on you. How's your anxiety? How you doing? And like, I know there's been a few times where she's been like, actually, I really needed that, like, we'll have a quick chat and she'll be like, yeah, I really needed that. So again, just one, to feel like he's seen will probably be helpful. And two, just for you to be like, what do you need? What can I do for you? If it's nothing, that's cool.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I think it's a better way. And I love what you brought up at the end there is the pressure to have to feel better. This idea that you're like, well, I know there's something wrong with me and I need to get out of this funk. I need to improve, because other people are going to look at me a certain way. And it's like, no, like sometimes it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it may take you a little bit longer to get out of it, or you may not get out of it for a while, but that doesn't mean that you're less, right? It doesn't make you less of a person. It's just, this is something that you have to struggle through, but you will. And know that there are people there around you to help support you.
Yeah. And feel free to send him this if you feel comfortable with it. Like, send him, this video or, the podcast episode and let him hear it so that he can hear, look, there's obviously hopefully he knows there are other people that feel the same way, that go through the same thing. But just sometimes it just feels good to know that that's the case and to know that you care and you want to help. Because your question was very much like, hey, how do I help him? I want to help him. And I'm sure that it will be beneficial. And also, again, it will be really beneficial for him to know that it's okay, like Liam said, to not be okay. There are times that there is nothing that anybody can do to make the anxiety go away. And a lot of times it's once I go to bed at night and I wake up in the morning, usually it's gone. Depends on how bad the anxiety is. I even get these things I call anxiety hangovers. And I've talked to a few other people that have them too, where the next day you don't feel the anxiety anymore, but you feel like you drank too much the last night. It's very weird. But again, just letting it be there. If it's just going to be there, it's just going to be there, will be really helpful. And he won't feel pressured to be like, I better fix this or else, my girlfriend is going to be upset. That'll be big. So,
heck yeah.
But I will add a disclaimer on the end of that to say, we're just a couple of assholes. We are not therapists. We're just talking about our life experience. Highly encourage therapy for both of you, if possible. Individual therapy. I think psychotherapy is something that is underutilized, especially by men, unfortunately, and it can be tremendously helpful, especially when you suffer with something like anxiety. So I would encourage that. And for you, it can be helpful just to, get guidance on what to do. First off, what to do to keep yourself safe and protected. Not like he's going to do anything, but your emotions safe and protected when those times are happening. And also how you can be a better supporter for him. So that's what I would say.
Heck yeah.
We missed a week. Do we have time to do one more? Make it a little long one.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I think we got time.
Fuck yeah. All right. I wanted to get this one in because I think it's fun. You're going to love the name. The name is Fuck Fascism.
Nice. I love it.
I mean, we already know this is going to be good.
They must follow me on TikTok.
Well, it starts off, guys, first off, love the new song. I like that too.
Thank you.
I do like that. Yeah. We put out, for anybody who doesn't know, we recently put out a song. Liam and I make music together. We were in many bands together, but we've been putting out music of late, just the two of us writing and recording it all. And we put out a song called On Your Left, which is about punching Nazis. So if you... Oh, wait, we can't say that word on YouTube. I'm not going to remember to blank that. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's about punching people that followed a horrible man that did terrible things to Jews. So, and lots of other people. So, yeah, if you want to check it out, you can. But they said, guys, first off, love the new song. Second off, I'm in a bit of a pickle. I'm currently fighting an internal battle between my needs for some... between my need for some vitamin D and my ethics/morals. I'm single, been single for a while, no intentions of changing that, hell yeah. But I like to have a little fun here and there. Tinder has been fantastic for that. Gotta say though, I've hit a bit of a dry spell lately. Seems like a lot of guys are looking for serious relationships, and I'm so not down. The only guy I've been able to match recently gave me serious MAGA vibes, but there wasn't anything overtly saying it, just a hunch. So we start talking. We've gotten hot and heavy over text, but haven't met up yet. Recently, during a conversation, he made a trans joke. It led to some discussion, and it turns out I was right. He's a Trump lover. Gross. So that's a huge turnoff. But at the same time, I'm not trying to start anything real. I'm just trying to get fucked, you know? Would it be wrong to hook up with a hot Trumper just to get some needs met? Oh my God, I have to start this one.
Yep, you go, because I think I think I know where you're going with this too. So yeah, go.
I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm in a similar, not a similar situation in that I'm talking to a hot Trumper or anything, but also single, also no intentions of not being single anytime soon. Definitely interested in some vitamin V. Sure, let's go with that.
Vitamin P.
Vitamin P. Well, that could go a lot of ways, and yeah. Anyway,
Tim really is excited about Taco Tuesday. We'll do that.
I do love Taco Tuesday. Every day is Taco Tuesday. So I can relate to that. And also, I happen to have once had a conversation with somebody she was super hot. And I did not know until we got deep into the conversation that she was a huge MAGA person.
MAGA baby is how
MAGA
she described herself. Yeah.
That is a self-described MAGA baby. Now, there's so much of me that's left over from younger me that's like, I don't care what your political affiliation is. And there's a very small part of me that still kind of feels that way. But Liam and I have never tried to hide the fact that we're card-carrying lefties, okay? Yeah. So for us, it's absolutely fucking an abomination that you would support the things that are going on right now. So when I was talking to this girl, and I found out, at the time I was actually I was still kind of into looking for a relationship. I wasn't at the point that I'm at now. So I was just like, insta gone, like just gone, fucking, nope, no chance, no interest. I don't care what it is. Like, even if you're one of the people that's like, well, I really like Trump because of his fucking business acumen or some dumb shit like that. You know, when you say something like that, that's like, oh, this is harmless, right? His business acumen. I wanted somebody who's a business person. But you still know you're voting for somebody who's going to take away trans rights, who's going to take away women's rights, who's going to take away minority rights, who's going to take away... Basically, if you're not a cis straight white guy, your rights are going to get taken away. And by proxy, being a cis straight white guy, your rights are probably going to get taken away. So in order to date somebody like that, it would be basically impossible because you know there is just a huge difference in core values. In your case... it becomes a little murkier for me, and I don't know that I have a clear answer for you. And I think it's going to come down to me telling you to do what you feel in your heart. Because I guess if you are just getting your needs met, there's no conversation really to be had. You're just fucking around. You're whatever, and it's just for you. You're just being selfish, I guess. But part of me is like, you know what? I wouldn't want to give a Trumper the satisfaction. You know, like, even if it means I'm not getting satisfaction, I wouldn't want to give somebody who is taking away the rights of the people that I love, who is actively campaigning against families like Liam's family, to even fucking exist or to be in this country. You know, I wouldn't want to give them the satisfaction. So if it's me, I'm not fucking them. But I will say to you, I guess that there's wiggle room for if you really wanted to say like, yeah, I'm just getting my rocks off, but fuck this person. And like, I will make sure that, you know, he doesn't come and I do. Like, okay, sure, I guess. But like, yeah, if it's me, no, that's a hard no for me. Liam, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I would echo those same sentiments, because you have to think about where is the line. Right? Like, so say, okay, well, you know, he's a huge Trump supporter, and, you know, that's that's bad, but it's not so bad I don't want to like fuck him. Okay, what if he's like an outspoken, outright racist? Would you still do it? What if he's a member of the KKK? Would you still do it? What if he was a Nazi?
Right.
Like a full-on, like, card-carrying, armband, fucking Elon Musk salute Nazi. You know what I mean? Like, this is where, like, how deep is the line before you go, yeah, this is too much, you know? For me, yeah, no, absolutely fucking not. I remember way younger, I'd gone on a date with a girl that made some offhanded racist comment. I fucking got up and walked. Like, didn't even like, hey, that was fucked up. Literally got up, was like, nope, and just fucking left. And I think it's kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier at the start of the episode with the dad being just uncaring, you know, like doing something that felt like, he just didn't give a shit. That's the way I look at people. Like, you know, people that complain like, oh, why do you got to make everything so political? And I go, because everything is political. And this comes from somebody that in their 20s would say that shit, where I was like, oh, why is everything got to be so political? Fuck the government. I'm not going to vote, blah, blah, blah. And then I realized like, oh, cool. I have the privilege of being a straight, white, cis man where I am unaffected by these policies. Like, you know, gas prices go up for everybody, right? Grocery prices are going to go up for everybody. That doesn't affect me because of the color of my skin or the person, the gender I choose to have sexual relations with. So when you come from a place of privilege, and this was a really interesting. I'm sorry, I'm tangenting right now.
No.
Jamie from Run the Jewels kind of had a similar thing, like white dude from Brooklyn, and then Killer Mike, who's from Atlanta, is black. And Jamie kind of had a similar thing in his 20s where he was like, oh, you know, fuck the government. This is all fucked up. Everybody's bought and paid for. And he said that to Mike, and Mike was like, yeah, that's good for you because it doesn't affect you or like your close family. It affects my community, affects me, affects my close family. And maybe, you know, being a wealthier hip hop star, like, yeah, I can afford to not have to deal with some of that bullshit, but there's people that look just like me that don't get that same luxury. And so I'm not voting for me, I'm voting for them. And I think that's kind of the same thing. It's like, if you are having sex with this person, like they're never going to try to think about like, hey, maybe I need to reevaluate my morals. But if they have enough people that go, wait, that's what you believe? I'm not going to fuck you. I'm not even going to associate with you. There's hopefully, knock on wood, hopefully there's going to come a point in time where this person goes, okay, maybe the problem is me. Maybe not immediately. Like if you're the one that cuts off, you know, the D or cuts off the V, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he's not initially going to go, oh man, that sucks, I should change. But there's the potential that enough people do that to him and he goes, okay, yeah, the problem is me and I need to reevaluate. I would encourage you to try to have conversations with him and, you know, hopefully try to educate him, but do it safely, right?
Yeah.
I saw a TikTok earlier today. It was a girl, she had like set the phone in her lap and the dude driving the car was like scolding her for singing along to Happy Birthday at the restaurant. Like the people came out, were singing Happy Birthday to like a 6-year-old girl, and the woman taping herself was singing along, and he's fucking giving her a hard time about it. Like, do you know that family? Are you a 6-year-old? Why are you singing Happy Birthday? It's embarrassing.
What?
Yeah, and like, and that wasn't even the most red flag shit he said. There were other things he said that's like, you're supposed to be there for me. Like,
right. Yeah.
Just this shit where you're like, dude, that is so many red flags in one video. So I would say if you're going to have these conversations, and this would be for anybody, do it in a place where you are safe. Drive yourself to the date, or, you know, if you're going to meet up for physical relations, don't let yourself be stuck like waiting for them to drive you home. Make sure you have some sort of escape route, like an Uber, a friend that's picking you up, or your own vehicle, something, because I would hate for you to start these conversations and be in a place where now your safety is at risk. I think these conversations are important to have. I think it's helpful for everyone to be more educated on these issues, but not at the expense of your own safety. So make sure that you can be safely removed from a situation that could very quickly become unsafe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But all of that to be said, fuck that guy. Don't give him any more pussy. Send him into the bathroom to jerk himself off.
Yeah. Or fuck that guy. Don't fuck that guy.
Yeah, absolutely peg him and just... No, I'm not. I was going to say some shit.
He might like it.
I'm not going to say some shit.
Might be into it.
He probably would. Hey, he already fucking loves Trump. He'd probably love to get fucked by Trump.
True. And, you brought up an interesting point, too, which is I know that for a lot of people, our podcast is an escape from the real world
bullshit.
And the shit that's happening and the political stuff. And this is not like the beginning of us being like, we're going to change this to a political podcast or anything, but the world is what the world is, right? And this question, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, but you also have to take in consideration what we do for a living and that these types of policies can very much affect our livelihood. So, I'm literally wearing a shirt that says read banned books, courtesy of my best buddy.
I made it.
These things affect more than what we sometimes see on the surface. And, if certain books are getting banned, it could lead to LGBTQIA books being banned, which are a good portion of what Tim and I perform, which then impacts our ability to do these books, which then impacts our livelihood and our ability to continue to be able to do the work that we do.
Yeah.
I've had similar conversations with people where they're like, oh, why are you worried about what happens with gay marriage? You're not gay. What are you worried about? And I go, right, but it's a very small step for them to go from let's outlaw gay marriage to now let's outlaw interracial marriage. And I am married to a Hispanic woman, and now that directly affects my marriage. So, and I don't vote solely because it affects me. I
was just going to say that.
Yeah. I vote for the voiceless. I vote for the people that would be affected by these policies. Because in an effect, it does also affect me because I want everyone else to also be able to lead a happy, free life like I'm able to live looking like this. So, soapbox.
Yeah. No, totally. And that's why I wanted to mention it is because, again, I know that it's an escape and you're not losing that. It's not like this podcast is just going to be us talking about our politics all the time. But one, the question was asked, and of course we're going to answer it. We are going to answer your questions when you write them in. And two, it's just fucking relevant. And we are, for the people that listen to this show, that we know the demographics of the people that mostly listen to our show, as I spit all over myself. Yeah. Women largely listen to our show. Generally older women, mostly in the United States. And like we've talked to a huge number of people that listen to the show. And I would say that more people identify as queer that listen to our show than identify as straight. And again, although we are cis straight dudes, that's not the only people we care about. This is our community. These are people that we love, people that we're grateful listen to our show and watch our show and listen to the books that we narrate and hang out with us online and in forums and when we go to the conferences, when we do get to go. And these are our family. These are our friends. These are the people we love. And so for us, it matters. Like the policies that are happening right now impact us too. But that's almost like ancillary to the fact that there are people whose very lives they're attempting to invalidate. Yep. And that's just, we're not going to stand for that. So again, just wanted to say, this is still your safe space. This is still your escapism. You can absolutely come here and listen to this show and just hear us talk about dicks and balls and give bad relationship advice and make you laugh. But if somebody asks us a question and it's fucking relevant, we're going to talk about it. Just like we always have. It's never been, I think, it's always been important, and I think we've always talked about it when it needed to, but I don't think it's ever been as important to talk about it as it is now.
Yeah.
So,
agreed.
Yeah. Thanks for the question.
Yeah,
we
thanks for
appreciate
the question. You just put us on a watch list. Great.
I know we're in deep shit. Well, you were already on a watch list. You have a Mexican family,
Dude,
so
I'm married to a Mexican and I'm an anarchist. I am the watch list.
it's true. Fuck. It's true. But thank you, and fuck fascism. Absolutely, we agree with you. And so do what you're gonna do. Hopefully, listen. As a lefty single man not looking for a relationship, we're out there. Unfortunately, they look like this. So, sorry, man.
You know what? Love is only a light switch away.
It's true. I can turn these lights off right now. I'll be hot as hell. All right.
The show has a shirt that's like every mouth feels the same in the dark. Yeah. So there you go.
Yep. Exactly right. Yeah. I love it. All right, well, that's going to do it for this round of shitty advice. If you need some shitty advice from us, toss your question in the comments below, or you can head to thelovegods.lol to send it in anonymously, and we'll answer it on an upcoming episode, as promised. Be sure to like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff, and we appreciate you so much for watching or listening. I'm Tim Paige.
And I'm Liam DiCosimo.
And we are the Love Gods.